If you still believe that winning and losing are measured only by money or status, then you still understand nothing about the world of powerful gentlemen. For Machiavelli, the most humiliating failure is when you allow the enemy to step in, sit comfortably inside your mind, and then manipulate your emotions like a puppet. Have you ever lain awake all night just because of a single sarcastic remark from someone you despise? Do you feel yourself driven mad with anger, then forcing yourself to act behind a calm exterior, while inside you are shattered by their contempt? Your opponent does not need to defeat you through action. They only need to plant a seed of doubt, and you yourself will be the one who breaks your own will. The crowd out there teaches you that be kind and they will respect you. But Machiavelli scoffs at that. In the darkness of power, directionless kindness is nothing more than a target for poisoned arrows. When you choose to give in to preserve harmony, in truth, you are kneeling and begging the enemy not to trample you any further. In The Prince, Niccolò Machiavelli once wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand." He understood that true power does not lie in swords or weapons, but in the ability to control the perception of the opponent, turning the enemy's mind into a labyrinth of fear and disorder. It is time for you to tear off this mask of weakness. I am not here to soothe your wounded pride. I am here to hand you 7 razor-sharp psychological tactics of Machiavelli, with direct strikes aimed at the mental system of the opponent. We will learn how to reverse the game, forcing the one who is currently winning to fall into a nightmare of confusion. If you stay until the end of this video, I will also teach you how to become the one at the helm, so that from tomorrow onward, no one will be able to shake your resolve even one more time. Niccolò Machiavelli, the master of some of the coldest strategies in history, once left behind a warning. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. In psychological warfare, the difference between the one who holds power and the one who becomes a slave lies in a single moment. Do you choose to proactively establish your position, or do you wait until your pride is crushed before you begin to resist? You need to understand this harsh truth. Power never cares whether you deserve it or not. It only cares about where you stand in the mind of your opponent. This world does not run on polite promises. It runs on the instinct to dominate. Your enemies do not attack because you are wrong. They attack because they feel they can control you. Machiavelli is not here to teach you to become a senselessly cruel person. His purpose is to help you strip away the illusions of inherent morality, the very chains that are making you weak. And when you understand this deeply enough, you will gain the ability to establish your own position, and you will no longer be controllable even if the other side resorts to provocation, rumors, or time pressure. Remember this well. In Machiavelli's game, to be invincible against others, you must first master yourself. When you are no longer a slave to your emotions, only then are you qualified to become the architect of your enemy's fear. 1. Silence, the upper hand in the game of power. Looking back at history, in 1512, Florence fell. Machiavelli, from a man seated inside the chamber of power, was suddenly thrown out like an expired item. He lost his position. He was suspected. He was eliminated. If it were most men out there, what would they do? They would certainly shout. They would slam the table. They would try to explain to the entire world that I was not wrong. But Machiavelli did not do that. He withdrew to the countryside, silent, living like a shadow. not a single word of resentment, not a single hasty act of revenge. And it was precisely that silence that made him someone who could not be manipulated, because he gave no one the chance to touch him. Let me be honest with you. Your enemies do not want to fight. They only want you to react. They want you to open your mouth. They want you to explain. They want you to prove yourself. Because the very moment you react, you have stepped into their cage. You think you are standing up for yourself? No. In reality, you are handing over control of the situation to someone else. Machiavelli had a very cold line. He who does not react is never predictable. The one who does not react cannot be predicted, and what cannot be predicted cannot be controlled. It is that simple. Now let's talk about you, a young man working a job, with ambition, with an ego, and with one problem. When someone pokes the right nerve, you snap back immediately. In a meeting, someone makes a sarcastic remark about you. You force a smile. Then you go home and think about it all night. The next morning, you send a long message, like an essay, to clarify things. You think you are fixing a misunderstanding. In reality, you are exposing that you were hit right at your weak spot. You are simultaneously telling the whole world, I have a weakness, and this is it. That is why you are always pulled into drama, not because you are unlucky, but because you are predictable. Your enemies do not need to be skilled. They only need to know what you will do when you are provoked. You will react. You will justify yourself. You will try to appear fine, and they will repeat that exact move day after day, because it works. Machiavelli saw through this hundreds of years ago. The more you talk, the smaller you become. The more you explain, the more you expose yourself. The more you defend, the more you admit that you are losing. You may not like hearing this, but that is the rule of the entire society. Silence is not submission. Silence is a form of silent attack. It cuts off the opponent's data supply. It deprives them of feedback. Without feedback, they start guessing. Guessing leads to anxiety. Anxiety leads to mistakes. Mistakes reveal who they really are. For example, in a meeting at your company, a colleague spreads rumors about you, says you are hard to work with, that you have an attitude, that you are not a team player. If you jump in to argue, you turn the story into a battle, and you become the guy who looks panicked. But if you simply look at them, give a crooked smile, and go back to your work as if nothing happened, you set their mind on fire. They will talk more, go further, overact, and outsiders will see who is truly unstable. You do not need to win with words, you win with presence. Remember this, a weak man is a man who constantly seeks to be understood. A strong man is a man who does not need to be understood and still stands firm. You want power? Then hold on to your right to decide. Choose for yourself when to speak, when not to. The man who stays silent at the right moment is the one who controls the game. 2. Do not let the enemy control the tempo of the game. Whoever controls the tempo controls the outcome. This is a famous line attributed to Machiavelli that makes many people swallow hard, because in the game of power, whoever captures the rhythm is the one who steers the result. I am certain you understand this well, even if you have never named it. In work, in life, even when sitting at a beer table or wearing a suit and stepping into a meeting room, every confrontation is a battle of speed. Whoever manipulates the speed manipulates the mind. But what is the reality? Most young men react through speed. We are afraid of being seen as slow, not flexible. So whenever someone pushes, we respond immediately, decide immediately, and dive headfirst into deadlines set by others. You reply to emails within 2 minutes. You answer messages within 30 seconds. You jump up the moment your boss knocks on the door. You think that is professional, that it is being considerate. But the harsh truth is that you are being turned into someone else's puppet. You live by their rhythm, breathe by their rhythm, and even make mistakes by their rhythm. Look back. How many times have you messed things up simply because you were in too much of a hurry? A partner sends an email demanding a contract. You fear losing the opportunity. You quickly agree, only to realize later that you accepted the losing end. You argue with your boss, your blood boils, and you blurt out things that should have stayed in your head. You fight with your girlfriend, get pushed into a corner, and finally say the word, break up, only to regret it when you lie in bed at night. Slow down. Real composure does not lie in reacting quickly. It lies in not reacting when you are being pressured. You must dare to let the tension linger, dare to stay silent, dare to say, I will respond later, even when the other person's eyes are filled with impatience. Men with power know how to delay. They understand that the slower it goes, the more the opponent reveals their true face. When you are not swept along by urgency, you force the other side to expose their needs, their weaknesses, even their lack of patience. The calmer you are, the more confused they become. That is when you turn the tables. My former director once faced pressure to finalize a contract within 24 hours. The partner threatened to walk away if it was not signed. Everyone urged him to decide quickly, but he simply shook his head and asked for more time. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. With each passing hour, the partner revealed more insecurity and had to concede more. In the end, the very person who was being pressured became the one who took everything, simply because he dared to control the tempo. Listen, this is not avoidance or cowardice. This is the strength of proactive patience. You do not stay silent to escape. You stay silent to force the opponent to struggle in the mire they created themselves. Sometimes doing nothing is the strongest strike. Every second of your silence is a small cut into the other person's pride. Do you like playing chess? If you watch any chess match, you will notice this. The weak player always moves too quickly because he fears the opponent will think he lacks confidence. The strong player moves slowly, calmly meeting the opponent's eyes, calm as if every move had been planned a year. Because he knows, as long as the opponent grows impatient and makes mistakes on their own, the game will end without a single argument. In the end, do you truly want to win? Then do not rush into every battle at a speed chosen by others. Choose your own pace. Patience is not meaningless waiting. It is the way you watch your opponent sink into the trap they themselves set, while you simply stand there, your heartbeat steady. You control the tempo, you control the outcome. That is power. 3. Destruction through unpredictability. Have you ever felt that people can read you too easily? When you argue with someone, do they seem to predict every word you are about to say, every tiny reaction you are about to show? Do you feel like an open book, easy to read, easy to flip through, easy to exploit? Does it hurt? If the answer is yes, keep listening, because that is exactly the flaw that keeps you nothing more than a pawn on someone else's chessboard. Power does not come from always being right. It comes from no one knowing what you will do next. Look at a river during flood season. On ordinary days, it is calm, and everyone thinks they can wade across it, that they can feel the bottom. But after a single heavy rain, it rises, surges, and sweeps everything away. A strong man knows how to remain calm at the right time, to erupt at the right moment, and who leaves no one willing to gamble on when that moment will come. Machiavelli once observed, "Consistency breeds trust, but selective unpredictability breeds power." Do you see it? Society's trap is that it demands you be stable, responsible, proper. But the truly powerful are those who dare to flip the board at the very moment no one expects it. Why are people afraid of unpredictability? Dark psychology explains it clearly. The human brain constantly seeks safety, and safety comes only from being able to read the other person. The moment you break that script, your opponent's brain immediately falls into confusion and loss of control. You will see the bewilderment plainly on their face. 1 minute ago they thought they were in control. The next minute, everything collapsed. Do not let yourself become a predictable pattern. Do not let your girlfriend, your colleagues, your enemies, or anyone else think they know what you will do when you are cornered, because once they do, they will set traps for you. A team leader who is always gentle makes everyone think they can push further. Then suddenly, he makes a cold decision, cutting off everything that is inefficient. The team is stunned, and the gossipers fall silent. No one dares to underestimate him again. One single moment of daring to change course is enough to reverse the entire power game. By now, you may feel afraid, but the truth is this: the weak always try to be nice, to keep the peace, to satisfy everyone's expectations. The strong play the opposite game. They keep everyone on the defensive, constantly wondering, what will he do this time? When you become a big question mark in other people's minds, you have already won half the game. If you need a practical guide, it is very simple. Remember, do not change so that your personality becomes erratic every day. Do not act crazy just for show. Stay consistent in small matters. But in important matters, be unexpected. Once, be decisive. Say no to an offer that seems certain. Refuse to explain when everyone expects you to explain. Or when everyone expects you to stay silent, speak a single icy sentence that flips everything around. Just once, then return to normal. That feeling is like a loaded gun. No one will dare to toy with someone they cannot predict. I challenge you this very week to remain silent when you are pressured to explain, or to proactively make one unexpected decision in your work, your relationships, or within your own group of friends. Then observe how people change their attitude toward you, how they become cautious, respectful, and stop setting cheap traps. Write it down. Then you will see that things truly change in ways better than you could imagine. And sign a commitment into your own mind. You do not live to be predictable. You live to make everything move according to your will. That is real power. Whoever has the courage, comment below, "I choose not to be read." And from today on, make a surprise your personal weapon. 4. Unmasking the opponent with the trap of calm. By the time you have reached this point, you have surely realized one thing. Unpredictability always turns you into an obsession for anyone who wants to manipulate you. But that is only the first layer of the power game. If you want to rise to another level, you must learn how to create the trap of calm. This is something the weak do not dare to play, while the strong use it masterfully. Do you know why? Because most men out there grow up in a culture of eye for an eye, of if they strike, you strike back. They see not responding immediately as weakness, as cowardice. But think back. Has there ever been a time when you shouted, argued things out, and your life actually got better? Or did you simply turn yourself into the worst actor in the movie of your own life? Machiavelli once said a simple yet haunting line: "Give them enough rope and they will hang themselves." That means sometimes all you need to do is stand still and give the opponent enough rope. They will hang themselves without you ever lifting a hand. It may sound ruthless, but it is extremely intelligent and realistic. Strong men do not fight in the first battle. They choose to let the opponent believe they have already won, then quietly pull them into the trap of complacency. Do you want to know how this works in real life? If you follow the old pattern, whenever someone talks badly about you, you snap back. Whenever someone plays dirty, you expose them. You become nothing more than a comedic version of The Rock on WWE television, always shouting, always gesturing wildly, only so people can tune in to see how you will explode today. The crowd will entertain itself with your instability. Your opponent will grow used to that script and gleefully push you deeper into the drama trap. But if you apply Machiavelli's way, what do you look like? Observe this. In 1513, when Cesare Borgia was suspected of betrayal against the Pope, no one rushed to investigate immediately. Pope Julius II still invited him to banquets, still discussed affairs of state as usual. That very calm made Borgia confident and careless. He began to talk more, connect more, and eventually exposed himself, his true ties and motives. When everything became clear, the Pope needed only a single move, no arguments, no shouting, and Borgia's career collapsed quietly, without fanfare. Now imagine this. Today, someone is speaking ill of you, undermining you behind your back, and you say nothing. No defense, no explanations. You simply continue doing your work, maintain courtesy, and even deliberately create space for the other person to perform. At first, they think they have won. They will talk more, reveal more. But the more they talk, the more they contradict themselves. The more they struggle, the more they entangle themselves in the very net they spun. Eventually, everyone sees the falseness, the paranoia, while you remain calm and steady. Be like Batman, silently gathering data, watching the shadows, and when the decisive moment comes, one strike. The opponent collapses, and you stand on top of the building without needing to shout a single word. This is dark psychology at its highest level. Crowds tend to trust those who can control their emotions, while those who talk too much and react too fast will hang themselves with uncontrolled contradictions. Complacency is poison. When enemies believe you have already lost, they become careless and make fatal mistakes. Now the choice is yours. Will you continue reacting as before, or dare to remain silent and observe, waiting for the enemy to expose their own weakness? If you are ready to step onto the thorn-covered path of becoming strong, comment, "I choose silence, I choose observation." Always remember, do not rush to attack. The one who patiently observes is always the one holding the knife at the end. Try applying this very week, even just once. Do not be the rock. Do not be the main character of cheap drama. Become the man every opponent fears, the one who sets traps with calm. Only then can you truly tear off the masks of those who believe they are the smartest in the room. 5. Never give the opponent an ending. Uncertainty is the harshest punishment. Ordinary men, when arguing, breaking up, losing friends, or being betrayed, all crave one thing: an ending. Everyone wants closure, either to confront it head-on, or to explain things so forgiveness is possible, or at the very least, to clearly establish who was right and who was wrong. That is the classic habit of the majority, a habit that looks strong but is weak to the core. Because the more you need an ending, the more you prove to the other side that they still hold power over your emotions. You show the enemy that you are still conflicted, still hurt, still tormented, still hoping for an explanation. Machiavelli thought the opposite. He said, "Uncertainty is more corrosive than defeat." Do not misunderstand him. Machiavelli was not advocating childish, unfinished grudges. He was talking about the art of cutting the cord without warning, turning yourself into an unknown that the other side can never solve. If you think blocking a number, unfriending on Facebook, and then posting vague revenge stories counts as awakening, you are badly mistaken. You are still playing by the old rules. You still need the opponent to know that you are angry, sad, and hurt. That is not power. That is begging for attention. To be truly strong, you must turn yourself into a wall of ambiguity, leaving no traces, signaling no ending. Try to imagine this. After an argument, you send no further messages, make no calls, reply to no emails. The other person does not know whether you are still angry or have already forgiven, does not know whether the matter is over or left hanging in mid-air. They will sit there replaying every word, guessing endlessly, slowly wearing themselves down in the loop of not knowing what really happened. Have you ever felt this sensation? One evening, your phone stays silent. The person who used to text you every morning no longer even asks how you are. You scroll through Instagram, waiting for a story, hoping for a status that subtly mentions you. But there is nothing. That silence, it makes you lose your appetite, lose sleep, lose control far more than any criticism ever could. That is the most dangerous weapon of all: uncertainty. Nothing destroys an enemy's will faster than forcing them to wander in darkness with no way out. If you keep following the old path, every conflict must be talked through, must end with a clear, "Okay, that's it." You are trapping yourself in the emotional cage of the other person. You give them the right to finish you. You think you are being decisive. In reality, you are only proving your dependence. But if you choose Machiavelli's way, you will see that real power lies in controlling all information. You do not explain. You do not give anyone the chance to have a moment of closure. You cut the cord and disappear, leaving the opponent lost in a maze of questions, inventing countless scenarios in their own mind. Dark psychology shows this clearly. The human mind hates ambiguity more than anything else. The larger the ego, the less it can tolerate open endings. By denying your opponent an ending, you leave a question in their mind with no answer. That question never disappears. They will punish themselves with countless painful scenarios, far worse than any breakup, threat, or humiliation you could ever devise. If you are tired of endless arguments, exhausted by constantly explaining things clearly, then try once to play by Machiavelli's rules. Withdraw without leaving any trace. Do not be the person who needs to draw the curtain on every battle. Let your enemies lock themselves in a dark room, confused, exhausted, and drained. I want you to try it. Just once. Stop explaining. Stop asking permission to leave. Stop waiting for closure. That will be the moment you feel real power and realize that silence is the most brutal knockout blow against anyone who dares to touch your mind. 6. Cut off the need for validation. No one can manipulate you if you need nothing from them. You crave recognition. You want others to look at you with admiration. You want them to understand you, to praise you, to share your success on social media, to make your girlfriend proud, and to make your friends admire you. That desire is completely human, but it is also the chain that drags you across someone else's playing field. Because the more you need recognition, the easier you are to hurt, the easier you are to manipulate, the easier you become a puppet of every compliment and every insult, every malicious message, every doubtful glance from those around you. You live in a society where everyone craves to be heard, to be liked, to be shared. But the more you live that way, the more anxious you become. Just one negative comment, one critical message, one sarcastic post, and suddenly you lose sleep, scramble to fix yourself, search desperately for ways to regain approval. That is the way of the weak crowd, living while waiting for validation from others. Every morning, you wake up and check who texted you, who liked your post, and who acknowledged that you did well. And then, the moment no one mentions you, you start doubting yourself, don't you? Machiavelli's philosophy is brutally cold. He who needs nothing cannot be threatened. A man who needs nothing from anyone cannot be threatened by anyone, because real power does not come from having many friends, many likes, many supporters. It comes from being internally unmoved by anyone. When you are strong enough to stand without a compliment, without an explanation, without a favorable look, you become untouchable. Every attack turns into nothing more than a faint echo in space. Look at real life. If you live the old way, when someone speaks badly about you, your face flushes, and you rush to explain yourself. When colleagues spread rumors, you jump in to clarify so misunderstandings can be resolved. When your partner criticizes you, you panic and try to prove you are not wrong. You live in emotional debt, owing explanations, owing trust, owing reassurance to the world. And then what happens? They grow bolder, more eager to test your pride, more willing to tear away another piece of control inside your mind. You become someone who chases validation, like a dog waiting to be patted before it can calm down. Dark psychology points this out clearly. The emptier a person feels inside, the more they need external validation. Manipulators understand this perfectly. They do not need to hit you. They only need to plant a little doubt, throw out a few sarcastic questions, lightly touch your need to be liked, and you are already thrown into chaos. But if you try living the Machiavellian way, everything changes. You do what you believe is right, without waiting for anyone to pat you on the back. Someone publicly smears you, you remain silent. They think you are worried, afraid of losing face. But you do not need anyone to validate your worth. You do not feel compelled to explain yourself, and so every provocation gradually falls into the void and dies out on its own. No one has the motivation to keep attacking someone who does not care. You become like a suspension bridge, standing firm in a storm, lashed by wind, drenched by rain, yet unmoved. Those below can only step back and look up at you with a mix of awe and fear. If you react the old way, you will remain prey forever. You will be controlled by every nod and every frown of the crowd. But if you adopt a new mindset, you free yourself from all unnecessary needs. You stop needing to be understood, stop needing to be recognized. You stand on your own, and that is the peak of personal power. Practical advice. Starting tomorrow, try not to check who liked your status, not to immediately respond to any sarcastic remark, and not to explain yourself when you are misunderstood. Sign a pact in your own mind. I owe no one an explanation of my worth. If you are brave enough to do this, comment, I validate my own worth. And remember, to become untouchable, you must first free yourself. No one can shake you unless you turn yourself into a slave to validation. 7. Turn yourself into an emotionless wall. Let's be honest with each other. When you sit in front of a screen, read a mocking comment, or hear someone gossiping about you behind your back, don't you feel your blood rush, your heart pound? Don't you get so irritated that you immediately fire back or run to vent to friends just to clear your name, hoping someone will defend you? Don't say it's never happened, because everyone has been pulled into that loop at least once. Someone throws a stone, you react, you explain, you fight back, or worse, you force yourself to play the role of a steel man, pretending nothing affects you while inside you are falling apart. The harsh truth is that the more you react, the more you give your opponent a reason to keep going. This entire society teaches you that you must show yourself, must respond, must defend your honor whenever you are attacked. That is the lifestyle of the weak crowd. Every time there is drama or rumors, you become the center of an emotional storm, both pitying yourself and feeding the enemy in your own mind. You turn yourself into a punching bag for others to train on, jumping up, reacting, getting angry, or at the very least, feeling an ache every time someone pokes at you. Machiavelli's philosophy is like a bucket of cold water thrown straight in your face. The highest form of power is to become untouchable. Not because you are good at fighting back, not because you are sharp-tongued, but because you have trained an armor of emotional detachment that no one can penetrate. When you sit there while people spread rumors, fabricate stories, attack you, and you remain calm, continue working, showing not the slightest change. That is the moment you are exhausting your opponent in a one-sided battle they have already lost in their own mind. See the contrast clearly. If you follow the old path, you are like fighters outside the ring, ready to swing at every noise. Someone talks badly about you and you jump up. Someone makes things up, you rush to correct them. Someone attacks, you counterattack. You think you are being strong, defending your ego, but the truth is, you have sunk deep into someone else's game, a game with no ending, where the only loser is you, and the winner is the one you handed the power to control your emotions. But if you are willing to change, willing to go against that habitual current, you will become an emotionless wall that everyone has to look up to. Do you know why? Because in real life, nothing is more frightening than someone who does not react. Imagine this. You are spoken ill of right in front of your face. You are the subject of group gossip. You know everything, but you continue doing your job, keep smiling, and do not bother to respond with a single word. The crowd will gradually lose interest, and the opponent will begin to wonder, Did I do something wrong? And the best part is this: others will slowly realize who is truly unstable. This image is not new. History has proven it. King Louis XIV, the Sun King of France, ruled a court notorious for schemers who loved to stir trouble and test his authority with every trick imaginable, but he responded with indifference. No arguments, no outbursts, no display of anger. The more his opponents tried to provoke him, the colder and calmer he became. The crowd began to gossip about the ones who failed, while Louis XIV remained the center, unshaken, untouchable. His enemies defined themselves in relation to him, yet never once touched real power. Try placing yourself in that position. If you turn yourself into an emotionless wall, every storm will crash and dissolve without leaving a trace. You become your own anchor, no longer dragged into meaningless emotional battles. Your opponents will quickly run out of motivation because there is no one left to challenge, no one left to pull them into their game. To do this, you do not need to be a superhero. The first step is accepting that your emotions are not something you need to prove to others. Start with the smallest thing. The next time someone criticizes or slanders you, simply take a deep breath. Keep a normal demeanor. Do not respond immediately and do not rush to react. If necessary, practice turning off notifications, temporarily stepping away from social media, and focusing on doing your work well without checking who is saying what about you. Each day you manage not to react even once, you are adding another brick to your emotionless wall. When you no longer react, you deprive your enemy of their reward. People crave chain reactions. They want to see you get angry, want to see you hurt. When no reaction comes back, they retreat on their own, losing the reason to continue. That is when you know you have reached a new level of power, a level where simply standing still is already a victory. The final key is this: do not just pretend not to care. Truly focus on your path, on self-development, on goals larger than petty rumors. When your mind is filled with purpose, leaving no room for concern about whispers around you, you naturally become the emotionless wall Machiavelli spoke of. And at that point, the strongest man is not the one without enemies, but the one who is no longer controlled by them. Try this week, just once. Do not react to every attack. Do not reply. Do not explain. Do not let anyone see that you are affected. If you have the strength, write it here. I am an emotionless wall. Only such people are truly unbeatable in every power game life has to offer. The 7 most dangerous psychological tactics of Machiavelli all point to one single truth. Personal power is not something you ask others to grant you. It is something you seize for yourself when you dare to go against old rules, dare to remain silent, dare to respect boundaries, and dare to act for your own sake. You are not failing when you are misunderstood, abandoned, or attacked. You are only growing stronger day by day, through every moment of silence, every time you dare to say no. Machiavelli once warned, "The strongest man is not the one without enemies, but the one no longer affected by them." You do not need to destroy your opponent. By making them meaningless in your life, you have already truly dominated the game. That is the power of an untouchable stillness. Right after this video ends, choose one situation that genuinely makes you feel vulnerable. It could be at work, within your friend group, or with someone who constantly provokes you. The next time trouble arises, do not react, do not explain. Do not look for anyone to defend you. Simply stand upright, look straight ahead, remain silent, or respond with a short, decisive sentence, "I don't care," or simply smile and walk away. When you manage to do that, come back to this video and comment here, "I built the wall, no one can break through," as a form of self-affirmation. And if you dare to go further, recount that exact situation, the feeling in your mind, the feeling after the storm passed. See how you have changed. See what the provocateur has left besides emptiness. Remember, only a few dare to awaken and act. Do not let yourself remain someone who lives chasing the gaze of others. If you want to understand more practical strategies and face more awakening challenges, subscribe to this channel and join a community of men who choose real strength. The power game has no ending, but you can always choose how you walk within it.